Okay, so we have just about finished the first module, which was about learning to describe art a little bit more intently and insightfully by looking harder and making good observations. That's what the point of the Van Gogh material was and describing, and some of you actually even said that you were surprised at how much you actually saw when you slowed down and really took notes and looked carefully at that painting. So I want you to remember that and to think about that for the rest of the modules we have for this course, because you're going to be seeing a lot more works of art, more than I would say we saw in this module. And you're going to use those same characteristics, those same observations of describing. And some of you even use some description in the discussion boards, and I would really urge you to do that even more. There could be a lot more description of specifics in the artworks tied to your conclusions, your interpretations. The interpretations need to be based on what you see and not just conjecture. So in the prehistoric area, conjecture is fine because I swear we really don't know much. But I did want to share with you a couple of things. First is about some of the stuff from the prehistoric and especially the Birdman painting that some of you have not gotten on to comment on because I added it a little bit later. And I did want to say something about that. I'm going to be doing that. It's important that you come back to the discussion boards often in this fast-paced, intensive class. You cannot log on the first day of the module, post a couple of ideas, and think you're done. Because people are commenting, people are questioning, I'm going on, I'm asking additional questions. So you have to be a presence all the time. I would say at least 5 days out of the week, you got to be on there. So some of you are only posting like the first day and you're done, and that's just not going to happen. So when I grade your discussion boards tonight, I'm going to leave some feedback for all of you, and if you're in that camp, I'm going to be telling you not to be, so be aware of that. So let me get to some more prehistoric stuff, and then we'll move on to some ideas I have about how you might make the class work a little bit, the discussion boards work for you a little bit better. So I don't know how to do this. I'm going to try to save this also as different than QuickTime because I know some of you can't open it. So I'm going to try to get it on YouTube, and I have no idea how I'm really going to do that, but I'm going to really work it and try to figure it out. Anyway, because I'm doing this and I'm talking to you, and I don't have images, which I'm not used to, behind me because I'm not in my classroom, I have my book, and can you see the picture? And I want to talk to you about the Birdman. So I'm not going to leave it up here because this is like really uncomfortable and difficult to do. So I just want to make sure you know what picture I'm talking about. So this picture of the Birdman, the Lascaux painting that's deep in the well shaft, it's like 15 or 13 feet or something down in the cave. This has been a painting that, maybe I can just like keep it like this. How's this? Wait, can I get it up there? Ah! All right, so this painting actually is one of the pieces of proof of the idea of shamanism. And a shaman is like a medicine man or some kind of religious, spiritual person, and some of you have looked that up, or some of you have noted that on the discussion board. This is actually really hard. I'm doing it the wrong way. Okay. So anyway, so the shaman is possibly being depicted here because the man, and nobody has mentioned this in the discussion boards, is really excited. He has an erection, and he also has a really weird face. And you could chalk it up to, well, they've been doing bison and rhinos and bears and lions, so they don't really know how to do the faces of people. But more likely is that he's wearing a mask. And no one also mentioned the stick that has like a little rubber ducky on it. That's what I usually say in class. But this is likely a spear thrower. And several of these have been found in caves in sites of prehistoric man, Paleolithic, which is what we're talking about, Old Stone Age. And a spear thrower was usually carved out of bone, and on the end of it, there would be an image of an animal. and the spear would actually fit into the spear thrower. So this is the spear thrower. It has an animal or something on it, and then the spear fits into it. And when you go to kill an animal, you throw your spear with your and hold on to the spear thrower. You keep that because then you can put another spear in it and go again. And so you want to sort of have your spear thrower have the qualities of whatever animal is on it transferred to your spear. So a bird would be fast, and you would want your spear to be fast and go and connect up with whatever you're hunting, a bison, a horse, whatever. So you wouldn't want to put a turtle on your spear thrower because you want your spear to go fast. You wouldn't want it to go like a turtle. So the bird man in the cave may have had a spear thrower, so there may be some relation to, let me get my picture, to the bison. All right, this guy, oops, over here. The bison here has guts hanging out, and he looks like he's been pierced by a spear that you see laying right here that may have come from the spear thrower that we have down here. I don't know what's going on with this rhino over here. I really don't know. I'm not even going to talk about that. So we could be seeing a vision. Shamans were known to have visions, and then they would go into a private place like a cave to express those ideas. And maybe this is the recording of a dream, a recording of a vision, because it is deep in the cave. It would not be a place where you could take people to be healed. That would be way too hard to get somebody down a skinny little space like the well shaft and actually have them survive that ordeal. So it's probably not that. So this leads us to the most recent and most accepted view of the cave paintings, which is that they are somehow connected to shamanism, a spirituality. And the idea here is that if you make an image of something, you're going to make it present. You're going to make it real. If you draw a horse that's pregnant or fat on the wall of the cave, and perhaps there's some kind of religious incantation or ritual surrounding that, then when you go out for the hunt, there will be those animals there, and it will be a successful hunt. So the shaman may have had a part to play in that kind of ritual planning of a hunt. And these caves may be communication. They may be a way of saying, these are the animals we hunted, but there may be more of a ritual aspect to them. So you've done a good job for your first module. Again, some of you need to be in the discussion boards a little bit more often and checking back in to see what people are saying. It might actually be helpful if you go back to my description of how to avoid the hellmouth. If some of you change the subject line when you're leaving a post, so people can get the gist of what you're saying, when they log back on, they may see, I don't know, one of you has said something about shamanism, and then that makes somebody look in and say, oh, well, what's that about? Because you need to talk to each other, and that's the whole point of an online community, is that you're talking with each other. Some of you are doing a great job of that, but most of you need to do a better job of it. Because we need to see what everybody's thinking, and I have to see what you're all thinking, but you all have to see what you all are thinking to make sense of why I'm posting a bird man and why I'm putting up more images. And I'm going to continue to do that in the next couple of modules. One last thing, I know I'm rambling on here, but one last thing I want to suggest to you is that there's a way to click all in a discussion board thread, and then you can see all of the comments together. And that's actually really helpful to see how people are structuring their comments, and in that way you can see them sort of all together. So if you didn't know how to do that in the discussion boards, that's a really good tool, and I was just reminded of that by the person who taught me how to use Blackboard. So if you have any additional questions about anything in prehistoric art, please don't hesitate to email me or post them to the discussion board as a new thread with a new subject. You can just anytime you hit reply, the subject comes up as what I put on, but you can change that, and then it can be a new thread or a new topic. So that's probably a better thing to think about doing as we go forward. And you can even put the line of your question in there, and then I'll get in there and answer it also. Okay? So we're on to the ancient Near East and Egypt, which is fun. Who doesn't like a pyramid and a mummy? So we're going to start that tomorrow, and I look forward to your posts and your questions, and you're continuing to be active in the class. And again, anytime you need me, just send me an email. Thanks.